The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment, heard on the official website of HEW Entertainment.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
The beat! The man! You gotta beat the man! Whoa!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729280. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729280. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the world heavyweight champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us HEWWrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here!
Now streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Vampire Slayer. As we kick it off with a moment of silence for you, a couple of things you're probably thinking in the deepest parts of your mind are that I have nothing to talk about, which 95% of the time I don't and will publicly admit to you over this microphone on an open forum on YouTube today. The second is that I've probably taken a crack over the past couple of days, which I assure you I haven't. And the third possible thing is that I really have taken a lot of Buffy over the past couple of days and thought it would be an authentic way of separating this YouTube radio show from every other radio show you will find on the YouTube.com website. And the third scenario, I hope and pray to God as I say a little prayer for you, is the one that you have come up with as to why we are talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. As we take you back to the halfway point, a little bit past that would be 1995, but we're going to go a little bit past that to 1997 for the premiere of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The unique concepts and the brand new cast that the show presented its feel with really separated it from the original series that Fox had produced and the movie that was very successful. The first actress who portrayed Buffy the Vampire Slayer did a great job, but the show wasn't going in the direction that 20th Century Fox had hoped for it, so they got a brand new cast with Sarah Michelle Gellar taking on the responsibility of portraying Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You had Allison Hannigan as Willow, and you had Anthony Stewart Head, which is a very difficult name to say, who I just recently saw featured on an episode of Where Are They Now, portraying Giles. I mean, it was just a great way to redistribute Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the fact that each episode from each individual season had a different concept and a different plot made the series so successful, and that's why we saw so many seasons of the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer created from 20th Century Fox, and each show was so detailed. By season 5, I think the show got a little bit harder to follow, especially for younger fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You really had to be in your mid-teens to really understand and grasp the concept of the show by season 5, a little bit better than younger fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was 11 when Buffy the Vampire Slayer first premiered. This website hadn't even been created. I was 2 years away from premiering this website, and it did get the chance to interview a couple of extra vampires who were used in a couple of scenes for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that was fun for me, being taken back to the halfway point of the 1990s and interviewing them and their experiences from being a supporting actor or actress on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Got a great opportunity to do that, but that shows you how far back Buffy the Vampire Slayer goes. The first season premiering in 1997, just 2 years away from the premiere of this website, which of course premiered for the first time in August of 1999. By then, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was kicking off its third season. They had just finished up season 2, and by season 3, the show was really in its prime, and it was seeing some of its best moments and episodes produced. By season 1 through 2, we get a better illustration of the relationship between Buffy and Angel, and as the seasons got more lengthier and more detailed, it became a little bit more deeper and a little bit more intense, and I think the show really gained a reputation of being one of the most popular vampire or sci-fi really related television series of all time. It was one of the most popular, and it still is today. You see that all the time when you see networks like MTV and Much Music still airing it as a part of their regular lineup, and that has a lot to do with the Twilight craze and of course the craze for the Vampire Diaries, which is one of the most popular vampire related or sci-fi related television series when it comes to teens, and that's got a lot to do with why Buffy the Vampire Slayer is back, getting in on the vampire werewolf craze. And the cool thing about Buffy the Vampire Slayer was that it was one of the first to actually take a look at more than just vampires. While Twilight and of course the Vampire Diaries takes a look at things like vampires and werewolves all the time, Teen Wolf is another one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer did something you didn't expect it to do at the halfway point of the 90s. Take a look at things like demons, take a look at things like werewolves, and even hyenas. At one point there was an episode where Sander was actually stalked by a praying mantis, a demon in a computer. By episode 8 or 9, I mean, there were so many authentic different concepts that separated this show from any other series that was quite like it. And really, when you take a look back at some of the shows that aired in the 1990s, there wasn't a show that you would find that was authentic and was as original as what Buffy the Vampire Slayer was, and I think that's one of the unique qualities that this show had. As I mentioned, I had a chance to interview some of the supporting actors and actresses who played some of the vampires or some of the demons that they had to battle in different scenes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was fun. One of the people that I had a chance to speak to actually was Scott Swartz. He was involved with one of the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he told me a little story about the personality of Sarah Michelle Gellar. He said that the best part of his role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer was knowing the fact that he had to die and his role was finished on the show after being featured a number of times throughout the episode. I'm not sure what episode he aired on. I think I didn't ask him that out of all the questions that I asked him because I was so interested in the interview. But she asked him prior to being killed off on the show, was he ready to die? And he said he was, because dying was one of the best roles that anyone could have in entertainment. So probably being an actor or actress in a supporting role for Buffy the Vampire Slayer was an actor or actress's dream, and it was always an actor or actress's dream to be in a role where they would die no matter what series they were featured on. But Scott Schwartz was one of the fortunate people who were able to be a part of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the reinvention of that series, and it's something that he always talks about. I've interviewed Scott a number of times. You can find archives of many interviews I've done with Mr. Schwartz on the internet and on websites like blogtalkradio.com. Now that that's out of the way, back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There were a lot of things that I remember about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. One of the things that I remember about it were how many seasons the show had produced. I mean, you had seasons of shows like seasons 7 through 8, which were a big accomplishment for a lot of series from the 1990s, like Boy Meets World. Another one, of course, was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, who Buffy actually got a shot in on for season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was very common for a show to get to season 7 through 8 in the 1990s. Nowadays, it's not so common to see a show get up to 7 or 8 seasons. You're lucky if you see a show produce 6 seasons of the show because of its popularity. It really depends now on how popular a series is. But even with how many series the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out with, I mean, every season got better and better and better and better and better. And at the conclusion, for the season finale of each season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you couldn't wait for the following year and the premiere of the following season to get a follow-up as to what was going to happen. I mean, there were so many different things that happened, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer going gay to Angel finally revealing himself as a vampire. I mean, there were so many different things about that show. Willow, of course, becoming a psychic/witch. I mean, there were so many different things that left you hanging about that show, and there were so many little concepts, little details that I can get into. We will be here hours discussing, so I will spare you the pain of doing so. And in conjunction with us talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is celebrating close to 20 years by 2017, they'll be celebrating their 20th anniversary. This year they are celebrating 16 years since the premiere, which was in 1997. I was there for it, and in conjunction with us talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer and some of the moments that jump out as me as a fan of this show for a number of years, we are asking for you to share your favorite moments of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm talking about the new series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which premiered in 1997. Not the original, with the original actress who was used for both the series and the movie, but the redistribution of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Was it the Praying Mantis edition of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Was it the Puppet Show edition? Was it the show that focused on the relationship of Buffy and Angel? Was it the show where Willow was actually stalked by a computer demon? What shows gave you some of your best Buffy the Vampire Slayer moments? Or was it from a season